I have to ask the question, is Brayden Schenn the right fit to be captain of the St. Louis Blues, or do the Blues need somebody else to step up? Personally, I am so sick of having this debate, but it needs to be squashed. I'm going to talk more about it coming up here on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Is Captain Brayden Schenn the right fit for captain? Teams that I am now scared of in the NHL after free agency. And come on, I know it's almost the middle of June, but I need hockey ASAP. So we have a lot to get into on today's episode. Before I go any further, I just want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as playoffs wind down. The sports stop sporting like we want them to, but this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster or bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone all day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. I've talked about this before, and I think it's a really interesting topic when we talk about leadership of the St. Louis Blues, and especially Captain Brayden Schenn. Is Brayden Schenn the right fit for a captain? My answer is going to be yes, and I always defend it. And why am I bringing this up? Because sometimes I see people that say, he just isn't the best guy to be captain. Sometimes the best player on the ice, playing-wise, isn't always the guy that's captain. It takes leadership. There's a lot more that goes into captaincy than just statistics. And with Brayden Schenn, he has proved that he is able to lead the locker room, that he is able to be a voice on the St. Louis Blues that enforces positivity and motivation towards the players, and he deserves it. You could also make the argument saying, okay, well, how about Colton Parayko? I know that he wears the A, but it was given to Brayden Schenn for a reason, and I feel like Brayden Schenn really embodies what being a St. Louis Blue is all about. When I spoke to Brayden Schenn, and I will get that interview for you this summer because there is still a lot of time left, he really just has a passion and a care about the team and the success of the Blues. And, whenever you think about the guys that lead this team, you want them to be as passionate as Brayden Schenn is. On the ice this year, while maybe Schenn didn't have the best performance, you also did see him stand up as a teammate. And that is something, too, that is not an easy skill to have. It's not something that any player can do. It takes that special kind of spark in a way, that it factor, if you might say. So Brayden Schenn stepping up as not even just a player, but as a teammate, as a leader, gives him all the qualities of what a captain is. When we were talking about who would be captain the last, off season, I said one day Robert Thomas will be the captain of the St. Louis Blues, and I still stand by that. If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that one day Robert Thomas will wear that C. I think that, right now he just turned 25, and I know there's been captains younger than 25, but the Blues do have a lot of veteran players in the league. So it would make more sense to give it to a guy that's been around, especially, and I'm not saying that Robert Thomas isn't talented, but we just have the guys from Locked On Penguins on. And I brought up a really interesting point about Sidney Crosby. And I said, he became the youngest NHL captain, but there was something about him. Like, that was a generational player that you probably won't see again for a very long time. So it makes sense that they gave him this seed just because of how insane his talent was. But again, like, Sidney Crosby was literally being talked about since the age of 14 about being like the future face of the NHL. So there's not a lot of players, that really have that power and threshold at such a young age. But again, Robert Thomas, in a couple of seasons, when Brayden Schenn is no longer playing for us, maybe he retires, there is no doubt in my mind that Robert Thomas will wear the C. And I think that's a really exciting thing because we got to see him with the A last season, and we get to see him really, improve and grow as a leader. And that is something that I saw a lot this season and a lot of different games. I saw him truly step up when needed. I think when it comes to these players and just their ability to grow, you really do notice a difference from game 1 versus game 82. You notice a difference when a team is trying to push it and make it into the playoffs. And while the Blues didn't get the job done, you did see guys on the team step up like a Colton Parayko. A Colton Parayko, here's my argument for him. If Brayden Schenn wasn't on the Blues, I would say give Colton Parayko the C. I would still say keep Robert Thomas with the A, but Colton Parayko would be another guy that would be a great captain. But I just feel like Brayden Schenn has more of a leadership ability in the locker room than Parayko does. I don't know this for sure, but just from the videos I've watched and just my observations, I think Colton Parayko has everything that it takes to be a captain. And hey, you never know, but I think that right now the Blues do have a good leadership. I would like to see Bushi with the A. That'd be nice. I also one day could see Jordan Kyrou with an A. Can I see Kyrou as the captain? No, I could not. Maybe Jake Neighbors with an A. But it's really hard to say who should be a captain of a team. There are a lot of teams in the NHL. And last year, there was a lot of teams without a captain in the NHL. Probably one of the most in history, honestly. Like last offseason, there was like a handful of teams that did not have a captain. And I am so against that for many different reasons. And I understand. Like we lost Ryan O'Reilly, trade deadline. I get it. We didn't have a captain. That's a valid reason not to honestly have him for the rest of the season. But by this time a new season begins, you should have a new captain. I think captaincy really just helps create kind of a path with the team. And it just creates an identity. It gives you that one guy that you can count on. And for the younger players, the rookies, these prospects, it gives them somebody that they can look up to. The qualities that Brayden Schenn has maybe are qualities that Dvorsky's looking at and saying to himself, this is what being a St. Louis Blue is all about. I don't know exactly what Dvorsky thinks about Brayden Schenn, but what I can say is that I'm sure there is a huge amount of respect that they all have, all the prospects have for Brayden Schenn. You know, I was really excited about his captaincy. And on yesterday's episode of Locked On Blues, I said, what if the Blues don't go back to the playoffs? And it got me thinking, I don't want his captaincy to be, the team that just never could get in. I want them to do something with it. Not just because of Brayden Schenn's legacy, but because of the Blues. The Blues historically have been a team that usually do make the playoffs. A lot of first round exits, but historically we are a team that always makes the playoffs for the most part. It's very rare that we've missed this many consecutive playoff appearances. I know it's 2, and I know that may not seem like a lot to some people, but for me, it does feel like quite a bit. I'm not used to it, so I do not like it. But when it comes to leadership, Brayden Schenn has the foundation now. He went through a year of being captain. He knows what it takes to be a leader. He's learned probably things that he needs to improve on. I think that being a little bit more aggressive on the ice and just firing up the guys, we saw him do that towards the middle and end of the season. Do that from the very beginning. Set an example. I think that the best trait that a captain has is setting the example, because that's who all the players are going to look to. And I think too, and I just know that this probably isn't in his nature. I know he had one little fight, but it's okay to do that, to stand up for your teammates. I mean, I'm not saying go on the ice and be like a Matt Rempe, but I am saying, hey, go on the ice and just be that force. Make other teams have respect enough for you for them not to mess with your teammates. This whole leadership discussion, it's a really interesting one that I could talk about forever, because historically with hockey, it's one of my favorite sports because of the leadership structure. I think it's better than anything with football, baseball, basketball. I think that hockey just lets you have the hierarchy. And not in a negative way. I don't want anybody to take the word hierarchy and think that I am being negative, that I am demeaning some of the younger players. What I mean by that is that there is just a huge amount of respect that you have for some of the older players in the league, the guys that have been around, the guys that, know the ups and the downs. And I think that is something really special that really radiates on the ice. When it comes to the Blues, you think about all of the great guys that we've had, wearing letters, and they're huge alumni for us now. And that's why the Blues have such a great alumni base. It's because of the respect for the Blue Note, the respect for the franchise, the organization, and St. Louis itself and the fans. I don't know how many other teams have the same amount of respect that our players have for the Blues, but I think that all begins with leadership. And I think that wearing the Blue Note is a privilege. Of course it is. And I think that our leaders really do set that example. I mean, like him, hate him, say what you want about him. I know that he's not wearing a letter or anything like that. But Torrey Krug, last year when he said that he wanted to stay in St. Louis, he commented on the Blue Note and said that he just wants to rep the Blue Note. When do you hear, athletes or of any sport really talk about the logo that a team has in such a respectful manner? I think that it just goes to show the amount of respect that Blues players truly do have for the Blue Note, for the team, the history, and so much more. So I also just wanted to come on here to talk about leadership and have an open discussion. Do you think that Brayden Schenn should be the captain, or do you still wish it was somebody else? And let me know why. I told you about Parayko and why I thought maybe I could see him as a captain. But again, I am very happy with Captain Brayden Schenn, as that's all I call him, is Captain Brayden Schenn. So I do have an interview with him one-on-one, and that will be up soon in the summertime. We still have so many days before hockey. So 98 days until our home opener. So yeah, not that I'm counting or anything, but we have a lot of time and summer is long. So that will be coming to you shortly. What I do want to talk to you about, though, which I can do right now and I have to wait a little bit, is about my amazing friends over at FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much, and I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports aren't sporting the way I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want, and all I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. You already know when it comes to baseball in the summer, I will bet on my St. Louis Cardinals. Listen. I told you they were going to win yesterday, and they did 6-0. Oh, wait. Yeah, they did win yesterday. I was right. It was 6-0. So they finished the series against the Nationals and won that series. I told you we can ignore Friday's game. No, not Friday's game. Saturday. Wait, one of the two games was we lost it by an insane amount. All I know is that tomorrow we have a 2-game series against the Kansas City Royals. Gonna be an interesting series, but still, I bet on my Cardinals money line all the time. And they are inching up closer and closer in the standings. I mean, we're still a few games behind. So the Brewers are still leading the NL Central, but the Cards are making their way. So again, use FanDuel and make up a nice little parlay with our Cardinals. I'm afraid of a couple teams in the NHL. And they're in our division. And one team specifically. And yes, it is the Nashville Predators. They made a lot of moves this offseason with free agency. And I don't know if I like it. Number one, getting Steven Stamkos, which makes me sick to my stomach because he is an excellent hockey player. And I know we were going to say, Haley, he's old. Well, yeah, but he is still an excellent hockey player. That makes me just a little bit nervous. And I think all of us are a little bit nervous about the Nashville Predators did. I think the thing about the Nashville Predators is that they are just becoming such an aggressive hockey team. And I think that, honestly, the way that their offseason has gone just shows that, they are hungry to win a Stanley Cup. They also signed, and I wanted him so badly, Jonathan Marchessault. I know. And I know. I'm not even done talking about it. Like, do you know how big of a letdown it was, honestly, for me that this team literally just got two players that scare me? I mean, Mark Gasol, I've always liked. Obviously, he was on the VGK, won a cup with them. Not this because like the last season, I guess now was this previous season, but the season before when the Knights won. Last season, technically 2 seasons ago, I don't know, but 2 years ago, and it scares me a lot. I don't like it. The Predators last year did a lot better than we all expected them to do. And I think that's a testament, honestly, just to the work ethic that they have. But however, I will say that when it comes to the Central Division, obviously the Dallas Stars concern me. Matt Duchene, has another extension, and Ottinger obviously freaks me out in net. I don't like this. This is not good. And I'll tell you why. These other teams have made some huge moves. And moves, honestly, good for them. Just good for them. But when it comes to this year, and it comes to my Blues, my baby Blues, I'm worried. Like the Blackhawks, I know they have talent. I know Connor Bedard. They might be a little bit better than they were last year. Obviously, the Yotes are not in our division now, as we got the Utah Hockey Club. They don't have a name yet, but again, who knows with a new franchise. Then you have the Wild. They have Marc-Andre Fleury still. The Wild really didn't do much. I'm not too concerned. We made some little moves. The Predators freaking me out. Then you have the Avalanche. Honestly, the Avalanche are one of those teams they're still going to be good. No one's really heard much about them. Still going to be good. Winnipeg. Do I need to say anything more about the Winnipeg Jets? They're going to be a great team, and so are the Stars. If I had to make early predictions, though, I would say that the top 3 teams in the Central are going to be the Jets, followed by the Stars, and then the Predators. That's my early prediction. The Central scares me. I don't like it. I mean, I love that we're in a very competitive division because I think that it's more entertaining that way. Doesn't mean that I'm not freaked out by the fact that I don't think this is going to be going well for us. The number one goal that I have every season is for the St. Louis Blues to go and win the Stanley Cup. But honestly, do I think that's going to happen this season? No. But I'm always going to be hopeful. But the division that we're in, it sets us, and I know this is early, but it sets us up to be like a wild card team. Because I don't know how you're going to be successful in the Central Division. The thing with the Predators, too, is they're either going to win the cup or they're going to win nothing. That's the kind of team that they have right now. And I hate to sound all negative and all, hard on the Predators. But the reality is, while they do have some really great players, it's either going to work out or blow up. Because, they signed Stamkos to 4 years. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I know he's 35 or 36 or whatever. But do you think he's going to be really that good in his final year of his contract? Probably not. He might. Who knows? Hopefully for them, that works out. And for him, nothing but respect for him. 16 years with the same team, multiple Stanley Cup wins, good for him. But their point is, I care about the Blues and not really Steven Stamkos, but the Central Division is freaking me out. And then it gets to me thinking, okay, hello, wild card, that's also including the Pacific Division. And then I don't even want to think about that because then you have the VGK that are going to, they also got rid of a lot of their players too. So I'm I don't know if that's going to be that crazy of a team. But yeah, the Canucks, they're going to be good. The Kings, they're going to probably be the same, honestly. The Oilers, do I need to say more about the Oilers? No. The Flames, Kraken, Ducks, Sharks, the Sharks have so many good prospects on their team. Quinn and Musty, and then you obviously have Celebrini, and then you have Sam Dickinson. You have so many great players on San Jose that, maybe in like a year or two, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with again. But right now, can you tell this game of hockey stresses me out just a little bit? Because it is July 9th, and I'm already saying, the Blues are going to end up trying to be a wild card team. Like, where's the fun and optimism? Because I don't have that when I talk about the Blues. I don't know what it's like to be optimistic and talk about hockey. I really don't. It's never going to be a thing, so I'm just accepting that. Anywho, just a friendly reminder to give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube here on Locked On Blues. I went to the draft. I got exclusive draft coverage. I spoke to Adam Yurchek exclusively for Locked On Blues, so that interview is up on the channel. And I've just been really grinding to make sure that I can give you guys the best possible content every single day, all summer. So with that being said, just because honestly the draft was so cool, I'm going to play that video of Yurchek one more time before I talk about something else. But it was one of the coolest things, and I literally spent like almost $1,000 going to Vegas just for this moment, so enjoy the video.
So can you describe to me what it feels like to be a St. Louis Blue?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I'm really happy to be in this organization, and before the draft, I've had a couple of meetings with the guys, and I really like this organization, and I'm really happy to be there.
And obviously today is your birthday, so talk me through that. When your name was called today, what was that feeling like for you?
Yeah, I really don't celebrate my birthday today because I was left, but it's crazy to be drafted on my birthday. Yeah, and when I got drafted, it's pretty amazing feeling, and I really enjoy it.
And can you tell me what your strongest skill sets are defensively that fans can look forward to seeing?
Yeah, I think I'm two-way defenseman, so I can play the both sides and be like I can help in both sides my team, and I'm pretty aggressive player, so when I play I put 100% of me to gain a win.
So as you heard, Adam Yurchek, just awesome guy and such a cool experience for me. So I wanted to show that to you. So I miss hockey and I need hockey, and I feel like I'm going through like hockey withdrawal. So it is, as I said, July 9th. It's summer, it's hot out, whatever. Love baseball, love my cards, but it's not the same. It's going to be crazy kind of soon because then you have training camp, preseason, regular season. But like after, prospect development camp, like what is there? You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing else until training camp. So for me, these next 6 weeks are going to suck. You and I have to get through it together. So we're going to be talking just so many things, possibilities with the Blues, memories with the Blues, and just so many things. Doing a daily podcast on the Blues is so rewarding because it gives me some hockey in my life. Yeah. It's rewarding. It's good. I love talking hockey, and I love talking to you about Blues hockey. I just need hockey. The one thing I will say too is when our season ends in the before we go to the playoffs and we don't make it, it sucks. Like for Panthers fans or even Edmonton fans, even like that's good for you. Like you got so much more hockey. It's not even been a month without you having hockey. For us, it's been like months without having hockey. So I really need hockey. Is anybody else missing hockey as much as I am? Or am I just like going through things? Every single day, I talk about this. I miss hockey. I miss hockey. No, but I seriously miss hockey. And it's my personality trait. It's like my way of life. But whenever the Blues tweet, because they tweet, it's usually like, oh, we have this coming up. Like preseason's going to be in Wisconsin with the Blackhawks game because it's at a neutral site. Okay, cool. Can they play a game now? So I don't know. I guess I'm like one of those like crazy hockey fans that just wants any hockey. Anything is good. like roller hockey. I just need hockey. So let me know your thoughts on that. And I will talk to you more tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.